You seem uncomfortable. Do I make you nervous, Corky?
No.
Thirsty, maybe.
Curious, maybe.
That's funny. I'm feeling a little bit curious myself.
Love leaves a trail of sulfur, like some lingering smell. As soon as you meet someone, you smell it. Like when you take a leak, your fingers smell. You have to wash them 2 or 3 times so you can forget that you podcasted.
Welcome to Pleasers
And Punishers.
Where we talk about movies that people love to watch.
Movies that ruin your today, tomorrow, and yesterday.
and all things kinky and queer.
I'm Caitlin of the North.
I'm May. 10 years from now, she'll be sucking dick like her mother, Schultz.
Et je m'appelle Amanda Jane Stern et je suis cinéma!
Cinema!
Brava!
Also, I mean, dude, you don't have to wash your hands 2 or 3 times after you pee if you don't pee all over your hands.
Yeah, I was really wondering where his hands were, like, what he was doing with his fingers.
He's probably just drunk standing at the urinal and, you know, you get that splash back. Well, I guess y'all don't know because you don't have dicks. Peeing at urinals is disgusting. They shouldn't exist. I think I've said this before on this show, maybe other shows. Urinals are stupid. Everyone should sit down when they pee. You get a little rest.
It makes no
sense. You don't make
I
a
agree
mess,
with you.
and you don't get piss on your hands.
I've actually peed in a urinal a couple of times, and one time I was in a jumpsuit, so that was a lot of fun.
Wow.
Did you face forward or backward?
Forward.
Oh my god, no.
So I was ass out. Just like on the urinal, like I couldn't wait any longer.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna pee.
Okay, so more evidence of why we should pivot to video is because I heard about someone who pees in a very strange and particular way that I wish I could demonstrate for you listeners, but you won't be able to see it.
You can demonstrate for us and we can narrate it.
Describe it.
Okay. Ready?
Okay, so May is, she's standing up.
Yeah.
She has turned her chair so that it's the urinal.
No.
Oh, it's
This is a toilet.
she's turned her chair and it's a toilet that is facing her.
Yes. Okay, so I am currently facing the wall behind the regular toilet. So this person takes off whatever they're wearing on the bottom, goes like this over the toilet, and leans forward with their hands against the wall.
So they straddle the toilet to be taken from behind? Oh my god.
That's what it looks like.
I don't know.
Oh my god.
But, like, can you imagine if you're wearing, like, heels
Anything?
and tights and a dress? You literally have to take your shoes off
Yeah,
to
you're
be
gonna
able to
get piss
get
in
your
your tights.
tights off.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Well, anyway, speaking of things that are strange and unusual, what are we talking about today, Caitlin?
Well, apparently we're talking about peeing in urinals as we start off Multimedia May with a bag with Man Bites Dog from 1992, written, produced, and directed by Remy Belvaux, Andre Bonzel,
Do you want me to do the French name?
and Benoit Poulvord.
That's not French. That last name I
That
couldn't do
sounds
it.
Dutch to me.
Yeah, it does.
Dutchish.
Dutch or Belgian?
Yeah.
Yes, because they speak a lot of French in Belgium.
No.
They're also I know, right? They're also the film's co-editor, cinematographer, and lead actor. And the music was by Jean-Marc Chesnut.
Chenu.
Chenu.
Lawrence Dufresne, which I do know how to pronounce because I have a friend
Because
with
of
that last
Shawshank
name.
Redemption?
No, actually, I have a friend whose last name is Dufresne. And then Philippe Malapre.
Malempre.
I'm
There you go.
honestly, like, what music did they do? Was it the stuff that like Valerie and Ben play? Because there's no score in this.
Score.
It's just like diegetic music. So interesting. Well, tell me, what's your favorite weird cocktail?
I don't know if I have a weird cocktail because the cocktails I gravitate towards are the ones that are just booze on top of more booze.
Yes.
So you like a float or a martini?
I like a
something
martini or like a Negroni,
gimlet.
a Boulevardier.
Yeah,
I
that makes
hate a
sense.
Negroni.
I mean, that
Yeah.
I hate Negronis too. I cannot stand
I like a
Campari
Boulevardier,
or
though.
Aperol.
I love a Sazerac.
Yes.
Sazerac. I can do for some reason. I don't know why.
I like a corpse reviver.
It's just booze. It's booze on booze.
Yeah.
But I don't like things super sweet, so I go for the ones that are just like it's a couple of alcohols, or I just give me the whiskey straight.
See, and I love a sweet drink. I gravitate toward tiki drinks.
Ah.
And this isn't that weird, but it's going to sound really weird. Gin and Dr. Pepper is my answer for this question. It's something that shouldn't work together. You
Look on my
wouldn't think
face.
it would work together. But because of the botanical nature of gin and how many flavors are in Dr. Pepper and how many of them are kind of earthy, it actually combines with the botanicals really well.
I do love a gin and tonic.
Dead Nazi.
How do you make a dead Nazi?
The only good Nazi is a dead one.
Let me actually look this up because
How do you make a dead Nazi?
How do you make a dead Nazi? You shoot him in the face.
okay, so a dead Nazi it's Jaeger, schnapps. Yeah, it's like Jaeger and schnapps and peppermint
And that's it?
schnapps. I thought it had more in it, but I guess that's a shot, and it tastes a lot better than it sounds.
Interesting.
It tastes like,
Dead Nazis.
yeah, I was gonna say like success.
Mission accomplished.
Yep. Yum 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 yum.
And I guess we'll get into some role play.
Is that your bathing suit? Is that your overbite?
Now, one of you will be the drowning victim, and the other one gets to be our lifesaver.
I'll be the victim. All your life.
All right. Man Bites Dog. This is a mockumentary shot in black and white. I've never been huge on the term mockumentary because to me that implies that there's an inherent comedic element to it. I don't think that's always appropriate for what a faux documentary is doing. And yeah, but we'll get into it. Anyway, this is shot in black and white. I always think it's older than it is, but it's not. I thought this was from 82, not 92.
I went in expecting this to be a 60s movie because it's very, very heavily influenced by the French New Wave, and it looks like the...
Yep. Okay. On a train, a man named Benoit garrots a woman, then wraps her corpse and ballasts it to keep it from rising back up in the river. He speaks to Remy, a member of the film crew off camera, which is operated by Andre, as if this is the most normal thing in the world. Ben and the crew visit his family's corner store where we meet his mother and grandparents. And his grandparents have been together for 53 years. Mom talks about Ben's childhood and how sweet he was, always playing pranks.
Apparently, so those were his parents. That is his family, and they did not know that it was about him being a serial killer. It was just about him.
Yep.
Brilliant. I love this.
Yeah, it's kind of guerrilla filmmaking. Out on the street, Ben pulls a postman into a tunnel and beats him, then steals his uniform and details his routine for killing and stealing money from his victims. We get a montage of him shooting a lot of people, and then he talks about women very disparagingly. Ben and co visit his friend Jenny, an older woman, sex worker, and former nude model who seems very aware of Ben's habits. He kills a night watchman at a construction site while he's burying another body in cement, says a bunch of really racist stuff,
Holy shit.
and checks the guy's dick out to see if it's really true that black men are well hung.
This is the 1992 version of the lead from The Stranger. The Camus novel.
In this moment, though, when they pull down his pants and the man is very obviously wearing another pair of underwear underneath, I was like, oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, that's not the dick that we see. We see Ben's later.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do.
Flopping around.
Flopping in the wind.
I was singing the wind.
You flop in the wind.
Ben bemoans the poor aesthetics of low-income housing, says more racist stuff, then visits an old lady in one of the buildings who he literally scares to death. They find her cash stashed in various places, which he offers to share with the film crew, who graciously accept.
You got to make that money.
Make that money.
Making a movie is expensive.
It's so expensive.
Mm-hmm. They go out for mussels, and Ben offers to finance the rest of their film, then recites some poetry before vomiting onto the table.
Classy.
Mm-hmm. Another evening, they attend an art exhibit opening, and we meet Valerie, who is also aware of Ben's work and has known him since they were teenagers. Ben hijacks a cab to chase the man, then kills the driver and tracks the man into some kind of industrial facility. The man shoots and kills the sound guy.
Patrick.
Yes, this one's Patrick. Wait, don't worry, I have a joke about that in a second.
Good.
The man shoots and kills the sound guy, but Ben gets him back. The boys go out for a drink, and Remy is distraught at the loss of his friend, whose name is apparently Patrick, and whose girlfriend, Marie-Paul, is apparently pregnant with Patrick's child. The crew, including new sound guy Franco, head to the suburbs and enter a home where Ben kills the whole family, including the young son, assisted by the crew. Mm-hmm. But it was all for naught because they have nothing worth stealing. The next day, while they are grabbing money from Ben's hiding spot, Franco is killed by a man who was the subject of another documentary crew.
This is a very funny moment.
Such a great
so
scene.
good when they run out and they're like, hey, look at you.
He's a director.
It's like in Shaun of the Dead, when the two groups of survivors run into each other, and they're like, you know, they're not mirror reflections of each other, but they're similar. You know, the group is balanced with the same kinds of people, and it's very funny. Ben gives Remy the opportunity to shoot their sound guy for revenge. Also, apparently, Marie-Paul is pregnant with Franco's baby, too.
Yep.
Around Christmas time, with yet another new sound guy, Vincent, the boys go back to Malou's bar where they drink Dead Baby Boys. What was the booze in this? I cannot remember if it was gin.
It was just something clear, so maybe vodka and a tonic water, or gin and tonic with...
It was either gin and tonic or vodka tonic, and then, it's an olive tied with string to a sugar cube.
And the sugar dissolves and the olive floats to the top.
Whoever's olive floats to the top first has to buy the next round, and that's a dead baby boy.
And apparently that is based on an actual crime that happened.
Yes.
With the name that he had.
To a 4-year-old.
Yeah. I was like, oh, gross.
Lovely.
They hold a man hostage and take turns raping his wife Martine while he watches. And at some point in the night, she is completely disemboweled and the husband is killed. Mm-hmm. The way he is watching, he looks so uninterested. Mm-hmm. He doesn't look afraid. He doesn't look disgusted. He's just like, well, this is happening.
Singing in the Rain comes up.
That to me was one of the most disturbing parts of the movie, but we'll get into that later. After an injury from a boxing match, Ben convalesces at the hospital for a bit. He comes home on his birthday and celebrates with friends and the crew, who gift him a gun holster. And he promptly shoots his friend, who was flirting with Valerie. Ben ends up in jail and on trial for his crimes, but breaks out and meets up with the boys to head to Valerie's, where they find her murdered, her flute protruding from her backside. Mm-hmm. Then they go to Ben's family store, where his mother has suffered the same fate, except with a broom handle.
Because she wasn't a musician, so obviously.
They head back to Ben's hiding spot to get money and leave, but they're all gunned down in what feels like the only logical way to end the film. Okay, let's do this in the opposite order. So this was the second watch for me. I originally watched this when I was about 16 in high school. Same story as a lot of movies that we've talked about recently. This was only my second watch. I haven't seen it in 23 years. Rented it from the Criterion wall at Video Adventure in Evanston. And I might have said this at the end of our last episode. I know I've said this to y'all, but when I first rented this, I thought it was real. Like, I thought this was an actual documentary about a serial killer. And I found that so fucking upsetting and disturbing. And when the movie ended, I just kind of sat there in stunned silence. And then when it went back to the menu, it said there were bonus features. And one of the bonus features is an interview with Remy, where he's on like a moving walkway or an escalator or something, and just constantly walking in place so that he does not get away from the camera. And I was like, oh, he's not dead. Oh my God, this was fictional. Oh my God. And you know when you do something by yourself and you just have no one to talk about it with, so your brain convinces you of things? That's why I thought it was real, because I was watching it by myself. I didn't know that much about it. And yeah, that really fucked me up. And it kind of stuck in my head for a long time. Like, I think about this movie sometimes, just randomly. And so rewatching it for this was really interesting, because you can obviously tell this is not real, but it still feels so poignant and so intense. And yeah, I don't know. It's a very interesting viewing experience now as compared to then, because now I can see there's a lot more humor in it than I remembered. And like, it is often very funny, even if some of that humor makes you go, "Oh,
Yeah.
I shouldn't be laughing at this. I'm a terrible
But I am.
person."
Yep.
But I'm going to anyway.
I mean, laughing at all the dead baby boy jokes. I
Yep.
mean,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's the same as why do we laugh through our discomfort when we talk about really, really heavy shit? It's how you get through it.
Yeah, I just listened to the This Ends at Prom episode on Bottoms, and Harmony and BJ were both talking about how refreshing the rape jokes in that movie are, because they're not at the expense of rape victims. They're at the expense of rape culture.
Yep.
And like, you know, if you're a survivor of SA, you are allowed to deal with that however you need to, as long as you're not actively hurting other people.
Yeah.
And if making a joke about that helps, fucking do it.
And that's the thing. Yeah, most people I know, that is how they cope with that. You know, making bad jokes. That's very normal. Gallows humor is a real thing.
Yeah. Okay, but this was a first watch for both of y'all. So,
Yes.
how did you feel about it? Give me your initial impressions.
I can't believe I hadn't seen this before. I was
This is very up your alley.
I was shocked I hadn't seen this. It's so French.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's kind of why I was really excited to talk about this with you two, because I was like, oh, they're both going to get very into this movie.
Yeah. I watched this obviously with Julian, who had also never seen it. And we were both like, wait, we thought this was older, but also just, we were so into it.
Yeah, I went through a phase, you know, because a lot of times I feel like I'm like, oh, I didn't read those, or I wasn't watching those. I went through a pretty hyper-focused serial killer phase in my horror movies, where I was watching like everything that I could possibly get my hands on. And I may have brought this up before, like I was like, I want to be a criminal profiler, ACAB. But like I was like just locked in. There used to be this website called Crime Library, and one time I was by myself just reading through like all of their serial killer articles at home. I think I was like 15, listening to like Downward Spiral or something. I was listening to 9 Inch Nails.
But not
Reading
Ice
about
Nine Kills.
No, not Ice Nine Kills. Like reading about serial killers.
Not
and at
9
one
Days
point-
either. This is not the story of a girl.
No, No, it is not.
Sorry, I was always mad when I would go into the CD store looking for Nine Inch Nails stuff in junior high and high school, and it was like, oh, 9 Days, Harry Nielsen. Where's Nine Inch Nails?
Yeah. I'm like, this is not it. This is very not it.
Very not it, yes.
At one point, I was like, I have to stop because I am freaking myself out really badly. But I like Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, The Vanishing. I don't know. Whatever else was also a lot of the movies from around this time. So when I found out what this movie was about, when it took place, because I'd seen the cover before, like it's pretty iconic, but I definitely thought it was not this at all. And it's quite the ride. It is way up my alley, I will say. It is quite the ride. At the point, though, when it got really racist, I was like, I'm no longer on your side, Benoit. Get out. Get out!
And I think that's so interesting, and I really want to talk about media literacy when we continue, because this is one of those movies that I absolutely know. And so I just finished reading The Walter Syndrome, the book that Liz Taylor carries an identikit, and that is told primarily from the perspective of a serial killer. He is just as racist. He is just as sexist. And it's one of those things where I went to log it on my Goodreads. I don't leave reviews. I just click that I read it so that I can keep track. But there were definitely reviews where people were saying, oh my God, it like glorifies in his vitriol. No, it doesn't. You are reading it from the point of view of the villain. That doesn't mean the book agrees with him or that you should empathize. It's telling you he is the bad guy. It is telling you that he is horrible. It's the same as, reading Lolita, another book where you're not supposed to be on his side. You are supposed to be disgusted. And we have such a media literacy issue that people see these things or read these things where they're told from the point of view of a villain, or, people do really bad things. And because someone doesn't come on immediately after and go, hello, kids, this is bad, they determine that the thing is condoning. And that's not, the depiction is not condoning.
Yeah, depiction does not equal endorsement.
No.
And that's something that makes conversations around, especially modern movies, very difficult, because there are so many people. There have always been people who have very quick reactions to things, people who are reactionary, for lack of a better term. And instead of engaging with the art on its level, instead of trying to gain any understanding of it or figure out, like, okay, why is it depicting these things? Is it actually endorsing these actions, or is it displaying them in a way that you can go, oh, just because this is here doesn't mean it's good? And people just refuse to do that. They refuse to take the extra steps and do the work.
And I think they do this intentionally in this movie, because at the very beginning, he's funny, and you're enjoying watching him. So they have to throw this at you to say, hey, this is the guy that you are currently enjoying, just so you know. And yes, there are times where you'll watch something or read something and it is in fact endorsing the thing it shouldn't be, and that's different. And
that's how I felt about Strange Darling, and that's why I absolutely fucking hate that movie.
We've had this conversation, yes.
Yep, we're gonna cover that someday.
We have to. If you watch anything by D.W. Griffiths, yes, he is coming from an evil place. He is a bad man. He is endorsing racism. That's not him depicting it to make commentary. No. He is just depicting it because he is a racist motherfucker. And you have to learn how to analyze and think critically about these things. And you don't have to just go to get your degree in film history like I did. It's just basic watching things, reading things, studying things. I mean,
having conversations with people about them.
And I think that was that moment when I was like, get out. I was like, oh, I see what you're doing here, movie.
Yep.
Very clever. I get you. I am on your wavelength.
Yeah, that's when the movie is saying, hey, sidebar, this is who this guy really is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so branching off of that, my question here is, with people's continued obsession with true crime, does this movie feel like it is still prescient and even a realistic possibility? Do you think that a film crew would actually follow a serial killer around to document their activities?
So there's a documentary called The Act of Killing. It's set in Indonesia, and it's a documentarian following these two men who were instrumental in genocide in Indonesia. These weren't low-level guys. They were the ones who were implementing, acting out, designing torture and murder. And it's a fascinating documentary, but I also remember watching it and thinking that this filmmaker has been suckered in to, and this, I saw this movie around the time that I was really studying those 70s Italian movies about World War II and reading about the banality of evil and all that, and looking for the signs and seeing, you know, who gets caught up in something and who is actually, you know, the constructor behind it. And that movie, this doc obviously is after this genocide has happened, but one of the things that happens in it is they reenact how these guys murdered people with the villains pretending to be their victims. And that is the only time in the movie that the main guy starts to have any sort of emotional feeling. And for the documentary filmmaker, he thinks, oh, he's like understanding empathy. I'm watching it going, no, he feels vulnerable, and that's why he has any emotion right now. He does not care, and you have been suckered in by this man who is not someone who got caught up in a bad situation and had to go along with being part of, you know, like a mafia because that was their only option. This guy was the head. This guy enjoyed what he did. So, and that movie is older than I think because I saw it in college, so it's now a hot minute ago. But true crime is an obsession. I've produced a bunch of true crime. I have a lot of feelings about it, both good and bad. I think there's a lot out there. I think true crime is also a huge umbrella that could, you know, encompass things that are more social justice-y and things that are more propaganda. And obviously propaganda is the biggest thing. So, and most people who work in the true crime sphere, because they're people in the film industry, are super lefty. And there are a lot of conversations about what cases do you want to depict? Where are, you know, the limits? Who will you reach out to? Who will you not reach out to? And everyone obviously has a different limit, but I think this is so prescient.
If Ryan Murphy can exploit it, the money will be made.
God.
Honestly, that's where my brain went with this question. I was like, Ryan Murphy has done fictionalized true crime stuff, but he hasn't done actual true crime yet, has he?
Oh, yeah. Well, he hasn't done like documentary true crime, but
he did
the American crime stories, so like O.J. Simpson and the Menendez brothers, and obviously Dahmer as well. Which, my God, I could not finish that.
Well, they keep getting more and more salacious and further away from actual depictions of as much of the truth as you can get. You know, O.J. Simpson, that was really well researched.
Yeah.
The more he does, the less it's researched, and the more it just becomes salacious.
Just, said Egg Thomas. Evan Peters. Oh my God.
Evan Peters.
I
love
bad.
Evan Peters.
You know what's funny? I always am just like, him? Egg? I call him Egg Peters sometimes because he was popping up in a lot of things, and I was just like, who are you? And why? Unfortunately for me, and why do I keep forgetting that you're in this? But yeah, the Jeffrey Dahmer one where it's just a lot of like him caressing like the dead bodies. I'm like, this is disgusting. I heard it takes a turn maybe later on, but I'm like, I don't want to watch this anymore. I do not want to watch him like lovingly caress these men that he's like murdered and going to dismember or has dismembered. But, you know, we also have, this one wasn't Ryan Murphy, but casting Zac Efron as Ted Bundy.
Yep, that one. Mm-hmm.
And just all, how much serial killers really did like to talk. It's like Ted Bundy would not shut up.
Yeah, it's exhausting. They're so they're boring. Okay, there's a quote in Seven Psychopaths. Is it Sam Rockwell who says it? Who's just like, at the end of the day, they're really quite boring.
Yeah. Blah, 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 blah.
Me. Oh, shut the fuck up.
But I do think that it's like Natural Born Killers. Robert Downey Jr.'s character following Mickey and Mallory and essentially documenting what they're doing.
So, yeah, was this actually a
Influence
inspiration?
on that? Yeah.
I think I read that.
Maybe.
Yep.
Oh,
that
yeah.
this
Quentin
was like-
Tarantino saw this movie at Cannes with Steve Buscemi. He absolutely loves this movie. He probably thinks he's just as smart as it. He's not.
Yeah. So I feel like there is a distinct possibility that if things in this country and the world keep falling apart the way they are currently doing, we're going to end up with things like this as entertainment that are not fictional, that are actually real, that are people live streaming serial killers. You know, it's the same idea as Scream 4 of uploading your kills to the internet and getting famous or whatever. It feels like such an inevitability. And so the fact that this movie came out 34 years ago is kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people have definitely done that.
Yeah, I mean, how many times do clips of someone being murdered just trend on social media? I don't want to watch that. There's a very fine line between watching something that is fiction and a real thing. And I also think in many ways this goes back to media literacy and understanding those lines.
Well, since this movie is 34 years old and there were some different things happening and we haven't really covered that much stuff from the early 90s, let's get into some context in our next section, Faith and Chance.
I can't exist by myself because I'm afraid of myself, because I'm the maker of my own evil. Goodness is only some kind of reflection upon evil. That's all it is.
I do realize that the first thing I wrote in what was happening in movies at the time is indie cinema. Je suis cinema. Yes, indie cinema was having a boom. Obviously, indie films did not begin in the 90s. They'd always been around. But the 90s saw a real influx of independent filmmakers. And these movies weren't just, underground and shown in niche markets. Obviously, this one was because of its content. But a lot of others were going to major film festivals, getting big distribution deals, becoming huge hits on tiny budgets. I want the 90s indie film boom back. I really do. But the thing this movie is really influenced by is 60s French New Wave, the Nouvelle Vague. And it was shot on 16 millimeter. It looks like a lot of those old 60s movies, like a Godard. And they reference, some of the old French filmmakers. They reference a little earlier. They're referencing more like a Cocteau when they're talking about filmmakers being gay. And I find it very funny because I think it's Remy who's like, oh, you mean like Cocteau? And Ben goes, no, that's Jean Marais. And it's like, no, they were lovers. It was both of them. I mean, I think Cocteau was bi, but they were lovers. So, yes. But also what's going on is The Real World came out the same year as this movie. This is the rise of reality TV.
It is wild.
Yup. So I think even more than and obviously serial killer stuff had been around for a while because serial killers really, in terms of being out there as serial killers and media about them, the 70s was like, oh boy. So you have that being such a big part of cultural consciousness, and then also the rise in reality TV, the rise in the indie film world, and you get cinema. Man Bites Dog.
This movie, as well as Reservoir Dogs and Bad Lieutenant, were all banned in the UK initially. Wow, 1992, you came in hard.
I still haven't seen Bad Lieutenant.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
I've seen the Nick Cage one.
Bad Lieutenant, Port Call of New Orleans.
Yes, indeed. Bless up. Serial killing. Speaking of people doing bad things. So serial killers, let's just do a quick, definition of all of this. So this is an English term, and the concept of serial killer are commonly attributed to former Federal Bureau of Investigation Special Agent Robert Ressler, who used the term serial homicide in 1974. However, most people actually think that it has its roots in the 30s. There's a German word that basically means serial murders. But the term gained a lot of popularity in 1981. There's a lot of why so many serial killers in 70s and 80s. Some people think it's because of the lead and the petrol. Some people think the petrol. Some people...
The petrol.
People were talking about
ease of travel is a big thing.
Exactly. In the United States and how the highways...
Hitchhikers, the road, yep.
All just being set up.
And there's also the idea that it's not that they actually proliferated in the 70s, it's just that we started tracking them then.
Mm-hmm. Peter Vronsky talks about how he also will draw a line to the end of World War II and all these people, fathers coming back from this really traumatic experience and not handling that well all the time. Mm-hmm. Of course, there are people who go through all of this and will never end up serial killing. So
most people.
Funny story.
Yeah.
Most people. A serial killer is typically a person who kills 3 or more people, with the murders taking place over more than a month.
So, according to a forensic scientist who does track murderers and serial killers, they nowadays actually have lowered that to 2 if there are enough extenuating circumstances that show that this looks like a pattern, that this is a burgeoning serial killer. And so if it's 2, they do start looking at it as a serial murder.
That totally makes sense. Mm-hmm. The United States has by far the largest number of documented serial killers in the world. Mm-hmm. I like this. According to the Radford University Serial Killer Information Center, we have more documented serial killers than the next 10 highest countries on the list combined.
Yeah, of course.
So,
And you want to know the majority of them are cis-het white dudes.
Yes.
Yep.
A lot of them also were in the Pacific Northwest, so I don't know. When I was at some point watching True Crime with Brian, he's like, why is all the true crime in the 90s in the Pacific North? It's all in Washington and Oregon. I'm like, we don't get a lot of sun? No vitamin D?
I think it's also about places where it's easy to slip away. Mm-hmm. It's not prevalent. You read so many stories set in New York City where it's serial killer, New York, super dangerous. No. The 70s in New York, yes, highest crime rate, but it wasn't about serial murders. It was all other crime. And I get it. New York's a great place to set things. So you have a lot of tourists who are oh, but you get all the serial killers. No, we don't. It's much more rural areas where it's easier to slip away undetected. It is not easy to slip away undetected in a place like New York City.
Seattle specifically in the 70s was a lot smaller.
Yeah.
A lot smaller than it is now. A lot less growth. I've actually done some reenactment work on a couple of true crime series. Yes. It's awesome. I'm so down.
Recreate.
Nice.
Uh-huh. And yeah, we did one.
Atmospherian.
I'm on an episode of Disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was going to be like, they found me, don't worry. I was not the person who's disappeared. Anyway, but we were talking about this, I can't even remember who the guy was, but he was also killing sex workers in the Tacoma area at the same time the Green River Killer was also stalking those areas. And it was just and when we were filming in some of those areas that he was, I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is where you're going to die. This is why I don't like leaving the city. I go, keep me in the city where I'm safe and there's no crime. Don't send me out there. Don't send me out there.
Cities are safer. I mean, not all cities, but a lot, generally more liberal-leaning cities
Yes.
have lower rates of violent crime. Yes, there's a correlation there.
Yes, interesting.
There's a
It
big
might
one.
have
It's almost like, I don't know, gun control laws. But it's also that these cities have more varied populations of people, so you're being exposed to more things. Education is better. So someone who's like festering in the kind of resentment that serial killers are, people are looking for signs in a way that in a smaller community, they're not. Oh, wow, it's racist Johnny down the block. Cool. Well, everyone else is racist, so...
We're all killing animals out here. We're all killing our pets out here, so...
And I'm not saying small towns are bad or this or that. I am just saying that homogenous bubbles do breed dangerous things.
And I've lived in a lot of different places. I've lived in... I mean, Seattle's the largest city I've lived in, but I've also lived in smaller cities. I've lived in more rural areas. Yeah, no, send me back to the city where I belong. Like Mary Tyler Moore.
We're gonna make it after all.
Great transition over here. What was going on in Belgium at the time is kind of wild because they were fucking up these investigations left and right. We have this group of killers. It's called the Brabant Killers. It's I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that correctly. It was a group who killed about 28 people.
Jesus.
I said 28 robberies, but so it was like 25 to 28 like people in as many robberies. This was between 1982 and 1985. They were never caught. It was a complete shit show. The most recent arrests of the case are of the actual retired original detectives for evidence tampering. And they officially closed the case in 2024. One of the big ones was Marc Dutroux? Like Roux. Dutroux. Because he was initially convicted for abduction and rape of 5 young girls in 1989. Jesus. And then he was released on parole after 3 years. They exploited something in the system. And then he was arrested again in 1996 on suspicion and was convicted of having abducted, tortured, and sexually abused 6 girls, 4 of whom were killed. He had accomplices in his wife, who got 30 years, a Belgian businessman who they couldn't connect him to the murders necessarily, so he got, I think, only like 5 years or something.
Jesus.
And then one guy who was murdered by Mark. So this is all bad. And when they went back in 1996, all of a sudden, because of the public outcry, like, how could this happen? They started to go back through and actually look at some of these complaints or tips that they were getting that they didn't take seriously. And there was one this is wild, by a Hungarian immigrant. And the reason why I say that's wild is because of the Hungarian concrete.
Yep. So are you saying that they were xenophobic and didn't listen?
You know, it was his daughter who actually ended up being an accomplice because she was so horrifically abused.
Jesus.
His daughter, though, had told the police, like, my father is raping me. And they did not investigate it at all.
That sounds accurate.
Yep. So this went on this is Andras Pandy. That's probably not even his actual name after it fall of the fascist government in one of them in Hungary. A lot of people ended up like taking the identities of people who are already dead, were dead, so they could move cross borders a bit easier. This guy was actually known as Father Bluebeard.
No.
Oh.
Yep.
No.
Papa Bluebeard.
It wasn't until 1996 where they actually got this guy, and I can't remember how many girls that he ended up killing, but One of the things I always find really interesting about true crime is when people watch it and are like, oh yeah, go police. Because I'm like, someone fucked up here really badly, almost always. That is why we're getting one of these documentaries. And I'm just like, no, y'all do bad jobs. So with all of this movie really, like, I saw a Clockwork Orange in this, definitely during the gang rape. That's why I was like, and Singing in the Rain starts. I saw with the critiques of this cult of personality, media, and what media's saying and how media reacts to violence. Tenebrae, 1982. Videodrome, because I just watched that, 1983. And then you have, like, This is Spinal Tap, which was the big mockumentary that changed kind of how we think about mockumentaries, how they're made. Like, mockumentaries go back to, I think, 1933-ish. It's Luis Buñuel. But Spinal Tap really, like, changed the game. And, you know, I don't think you can see all those sound guys died and not think about the drummers in Spinal Tap.
I texted y'all about it, and then I read lower in the outline. I was like, oh, Caitlin made a joke about that. Good.
Yeah, I was just like those drummers. Just, poor. I can't even remember their names. Francois,
Franco,
Patrick,
Franco.
and Franco.
Oh, Patrick.
And Vincent.
Franco. Oh, Vincent. Scream. Again, that she'll be sucking dick just like her mother. I was like, hey, she's a slut just like her mom. She's a slut just
what
like
we
her
do
mother.
in the shadows.
Yes.
Of more recent stuff.
What we do in the shadows. Funny Games comes out 5 years after this. Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon in 2006.
Still never seen it.
Oh, it really shares a lot of DNA with this. The Poughkeepsie tapes, which I don't enjoy.
I have not seen it.
It's not as fucked up or good as I think it had the potential to be. It tries to do too much, and it focuses on the wrong things.
I was just like, I don't want to listen to women just screaming for like an hour and a half or however long you're taking me here. I was like, I do not find this.
So that's an affront on my earballs.
Yeah. I don't find this punishing in a way that makes sense to me.
Right.
It's
in a way
not a
that
fulfilling type of punishment.
No. And then as we progress, streamer horror comedies, Deadstream, Chad Gets the Axe, Spree.
I still haven't seen Spree or Chad Gets the Axe, but I love Deadstream.
I love Deadstream. That's so good. They're all good, actually, but Deadstream's probably my favorite of the three. Yeah, let's go Steve with the good hair. I'm like, I can't, from Stranger Things, is streaming himself murdering people. Multiple murderer. Going on a spree. So this movie, again, I cannot believe I didn't see it since it seemed so influential on the subject, on what it's saying about media and how it's presented.
And people seem to have decent opinions on this. It's got a Rotten Tomatoes approval rating of 68%, but that was only based on 19 reviews.
It's also definitely a divisive movie. Like,
yeah, and we don't know how contemporary those reviews are. I did not sit there and, you know, read all the ones that were counted for that. And the way, as we learned from a former guest, the way the Rotten Tomatoes algorithm works is not really great, because it shouldn't be an algorithm. It should be a person doing that job.
But it's also, people look at them and they're like, oh, the movie has a 68%. No, it means that 68% of the critics gave it a favorable review. It doesn't mean, and that could have been like they gave it a 59 but gave it a thumbs up.
Right. Or it scanned their reviews looking for specific words that it considers either good or bad.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not really an accurate system.
No, not at all.
But I still find it interesting to have that be a part of this
Yes.
section.
Whereas something like Metacritic aggregates more and actually seems to take other reviews, but it doesn't have as many critics that it scans
Right.
from.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, should we switch to using Metacritic for
They
that?
don't scan as many critics,
Right.
which is and it's an issue on both places.
Well, it's got a 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb and a 3.8 out of 5 or a 7.6 out of 10 on Letterboxd. So more aligned than IMDb and Letterboxd usually are. I think that makes sense. You know, like you just said, Amanda, this is a divisive movie.
Yeah.
If you are not on the film's wavelength, it is not going to hit right for you. The violence is...
Violent.
You know, for grainy 16 millimeter black and white, it's still pretty shocking.
Right, and there are definitely moments that you could feel this went too far.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the group sexual assault scene, obviously.
That would be the one,
and,
yep.
And, you know, when it cuts and then we're in the morning and she has been completely disemboweled and you're just like, wow. Like, we went from... you know, just randomly killing people to this, that's a jump.
And we will discuss that in our general discussion, because I do think that is a very important thing to bring up.
Yeah. Well, I guess we should head there now. So let's dig into the meat, the goo, the viscera, the dead baby boys in a section we call Enough is a Myth.
I've done enough. Enough is a myth.
I am so sorry.
How do you
I'm
take
so
that
sorry.
on the rocks or straight up?
Oh boy.
Lord.
Well, I mean, if we're Ben, we're ballasting it. So on the rocks.
How much ballast do you need to sink a baby?
Twice the weight.
Wait.
Because the bones are porous.
Learned so much.
So the French title for this movie translates to "It Happened in Your Neighborhood," and the English language title is "Man Bites Dog." The phrase "man bites dog" is a shortened version of an aphorism in journalism that describes how an unusual, infrequent event, such as a man biting a dog, is more likely to be reported as news than an ordinary occurrence with similar consequences, a dog biting a man.
Yeah. It's the Florida man syndrome.
Yes. Ben likes to target the underdog instead of the big shots so that he can stay under the radar as a killer. I think this is saying a lot of things. So what is this movie's view on classism and who we view as being worthy of being reported on versus who we ignore?
Yeah, I mean, it's very clear that Ben does not want to go to the suburbs. And is it Andre who kind of eggs him on, the cameraman?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Andre kind of eggs him on, and so they go to
Because he's
the
like,
suburbs.
you're a wimp, you're a chump.
Yeah,
Why don't
yeah.
like you just don't? You're afraid, and he's like, no, it's I want to stay under the radar. I don't want people to report on this.
And then that's what fucks everything up for him is they kill that family in the suburbs, and people actually notice that. It ends up in the newspapers. You know, we see Ben's mom sitting there reading the newspaper with that in it. So all of a sudden, everything is thrown into chaos because he deviated from his routine of killing people that no one cares about, even
Why
though
does
they
so many
should.
serial killers target sex workers?
Yep.
It's because it's
bring
an
that
easy
up.
victim that the news doesn't report on, that the cops don't care about.
Right. And that is very important to this film because, like we said, depiction is not endorsement. This film is not saying like, hey, this is cool. It's saying like, look how fucking fucked up this is. Look at the issues of classism and racism that exist within our culture that lead to something like this, that lead to the fact that he is going around killing so many people, postal workers, old ladies, and anyone.
But they're all either lower class, people of color.
Yep. Yeah, people who do not matter as much in the eyes of society at large, even though a lot of those people are the people who
the actual
help
fabric of society
function. Yeah. I mean, it's not to quote Fight Club, but the idea that like all of the dudes in Fight Club are like the workers who enable society to function, and those are the people that sorry, I'm going on a tangent.
I was like,
here.
I feel with Fight Club specifically, I'm like, that is one of the most white privilege movies, because that they were promised all these things by society, and then don't get them, and now they're mad, and now they want to fight. You know, I think with this as well, where you're looking at, I mean, the United States even now, how we report on white women going missing.
Yep.
Instead of like black women or missing and murdered indigenous women. Who is getting the attention? What is true crime focusing on? A lot of that is white pain.
I mean, honestly, even with some of the stuff that's been happening recently, and the fact that like multiple people have gotten killed in situations, and the white woman who, yes, she was absolutely trying to do the right thing, but that's who everyone has been focused on.
That's who we focus on, and not the other people. Yep.
Yeah. And it's not just the news outlets, it's
everything.
So many people. I didn't even know for like a full day that other people died that day.
Yeah.
I thought it was just her, because that's the only person I saw people talking about.
And that was it. I didn't have anything else to say.
No, yeah, I think that's the thing, and this is back to the media literacy thing of people reading this and going, well, it's endorsing him. No, it is making this commentary. It is it is making a very pointed commentary. It is satirical. It is a black comedy, and it's not saying, oh, this is a good guy. It is making a statement. But, okay, I did say we were going to talk about the scene, so let's talk about rape as a storytelling construct. Exactly 2/3 into the movie is a pretty graphic gang rape sequence that all of the filmmakers take part in along with Ben. As far as we know, even for Ben, this is an escalation. Everything we've seen up to this point has been him pulling someone aside and murdering them. Usually it's one person at a time, maybe two, up until the family, and then you get this extreme escalation. Do we think that the importance of this scene is to show how the filmmakers have passed the point of no return and no longer being just bystanders? Had they already passed that with the kids' murder? And then following that, did they decide to include a rape scene? Because even beyond murder, this is what we, as general members of society, consider to be the worst of the worst when it comes to violent offenses.
Honestly, I think the point of no return for them is when they accept money from Ben. Because at that point, they are no longer passive observers. They are participating in, I don't care about the crime in terms of legal means, but like they take money that he obtained from this old lady that he scared to death, so they are benefiting from it. They are not being objective anymore. They are involved. So I think that's the beginning of the end for them. And then when they help him kill the kid, and again, it was not Ben's idea to go to the suburbs.
It was Andre.
So there's this symbiotic relationship that Ben and the filmmakers develop over the course of the movie, where they are feeding back into each other and doing that thing that I think a lot of men do, where they egg each other on and they push each other until, I mean, obviously, Ben killing people is already too far.
But it's like frat boy culture.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same kind of thing. That's why there are so many cases of sexual assault on college campuses, because dudes just encourage each other to do these sorts of things because they think they are allowed to do whatever the fuck they want. And I think this is the culmination of their time together with Ben. I think this is them no longer ramping up, but at this point they are all the same. You know, Remy has already killed someone. He shot that other sound guy. And this is the absolute pure rotten core of who they are as people. And it's like, you went from making a documentary about this guy to helping him to raping this woman that has absolutely nothing to do with his usual MO.
Yep, there's no money involved. The crime is purely for their pleasure. Caitlin?
Yeah. There was something that May said that I was like, that was a really discussion. That this was a really good thing. I was like, I'm going to jump off of that, and then I completely forgot it.
Oh shit! Sorry. Do you want me to repeat anything?
Well, and then I started reading the next question, because I think the next question I was going to say something more about that, and then my mind just went.
Do you want me to just move on to the next question, and then you could kind of, because they do kind of go together.
Yeah. Okay.
So following up on that, this movie tells us from the jump that Ben is an unrepentant killer, while the filmmakers are initially just documenting his crimes and not taking part. Is the real villain the killer who tells us who he is, or the documentarians who choose to become active participants? What is this movie saying about the line between documenting something for posterity or evidence and actually being involved in it? What is it saying about us as the viewer?
Yeah, I definitely sort of answered that with
Yeah,
my last
they
answer.
go
I'm so
together.
sorry.
No, they go together.
Yeah.
I feel like the kind of closest spiritual successor of the time to this is Funny Games, where it is inverting that lens, or subverting, or it's turning the lens back on us. Like, you're the ones watching this.
You're getting
You're
enjoyment
the ones
from this.
getting, this is quote unquote entertainment. You are the ones who are going to watch a documentary about this serial killer. And I think that the film crew really serves as a proxy for the audience. I didn't actually find him that charming, because I was like, you are talking so much, sir. I need you to stop. Dude, bro, you need to calm down.
But men do gravitate towards that.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Tell him you've never seen The Godfather. You think it's not a good movie.
I've never seen The Godfather.
Neither have I.
I saw it as a midnight movie, which is a terrible midnight movie.
It's
definitely
like 3 hours long.
Fell asleep, and I don't think I've actually
You need to
ever
watch it at 6 p.m.
And I think this is where the media literacy really comes in, because this isn't a movie glorifying what Benoit is doing at all. It is about the culture that we have created, and how it is so easy to slip into that in the right situations.
Yeah.
Because we suck as a race. As a human race.
Yeah.
We are very damaged, and I don't know, the ease with which so many people, and I'm sorry, but especially men, fall into violence, sexual violence, all of these horrible things that they do to other people is terrifying to me.
Yeah.
And just does not compute in my brain.
No.
Like, I cannot imagine getting to a place where I'm just like, oh yeah, that seems like an okay thing to do, or, oh, I'm going to get off on doing this thing that I know is not right to do, but it feels good for me. It's like, I try really hard to be a quote unquote good person, which is not just a level you reach. It's about every single fucking decision you make, and how it affects you, how it affects the people around you, how it affects the world at large. It can be exhausting to think about that, but that's how my anxious neurodivergent brain works.
No, you're right. Like, I sometimes think about, okay, how do I know the things that I espouse publicly, but also making a statement on social media, what does that do? So when I claim to be, an ally to certain different communities, does that extend to only being an ally in front of those people? Or am I going to still have that fight when they're not around, because I don't need the kudos to do it, but just be like, well, this is just the right thing.
I don't need that cookie.
Yeah.
Right. Give me cookie.
And that's a choice that you have to make. Like, is your allyship real or is it performative?
Right. And I just cannot fathom ever being in a place where I'm like, yeah, this is an okay thing to do.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking a lot about cults in this moment. Mm-hmm. Also, I am pretty obsessed with cult true crime. Yeah. It is one of my favorite true crimes. I like scams and cults kind of the best. Because people who weaponize religion, I find that fascinating.
Yep, they are.
And yeah, that personality that you get brought into, and all of a sudden this all just seems normal. And the normalization of these behaviors that if you were not part of this group, you'd be like, the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
That's the same way I feel about a lot of religion.
Yep.
The stuff in Catholicism is you're basically doing witchcraft and calling it Christianity. Mm-hmm. You're doing some of the same shit. And it's like,
I mean, it just appropriated so much from paganism.
Yeah. That wine into
but you're
blood.
doing it for such different reasons. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where there's a big distinction. Anyway, sorry, that was the tangent.
And then I was thinking like what would I do in this situation? I was like, oh, I don't follow the group very well. I remember getting I don't either. I was concerned at one point. I was like, but what if I get taken in by a cult? And what if, because people always are like, oh, I'm too smart to be doing this. And those are the people that they have, that, they can get.
No, we're too neurodivergent is what it is.
Brian was like, no, don't worry about that. I was like, but I am worried. He goes, you don't like following what other people do? You have a problem taking orders from people? I was like,
you have to put on this uniform and drink this liquid.
I know what I'd do.
I'd be like, fuck off.
I know what I'd do because I have a real example of something that happened.
Oh?
So this was first grade. And it was lunchtime at first grade. And we were all just kind of in the cafeteria. And I don't even know why, but for whatever reason, this one kid, Max, was like blocking one of the exits we needed unless you would say to him, be like, yeah, Alex is a stupid idiot. And then he'd let you go. Mm-hmm. And so I go up and he's like, you have to say it. And I go, no, I'm not saying that. You're the stupid one. And I walked around him because I was like, I'm not saying that. Why the fuck would I say that? Max, you're an idiot. And so the kid who he was doing it to told our teacher about what happened. So everyone who went along with it was in trouble. And she was like, and this is what happens when you follow a bad person. You also are culpable. And I did not get in trouble because I was like, I didn't do it. Mm-hmm. And the kid who it happened to was like, yeah, no, I will tell you who said what Max told them to say and who did not. So that is my actual example of I just don't follow people.
Yeah, I think I got in trouble very early on with, this was like the stupidest thing, is when I was in Catholic school and it was raining real hard and they let us all outside for recess, and we stood underneath like the gutters and we all just got sopping wet. I'm like first or second grade. And we got in trouble. We got in so much trouble for that. And I was like, I don't like this.
For what? It was raining.
And they let you outside.
And they let us outside. We were put into recess.
Yeah,
I almost said
that's when
racism.
I would have written my attempt at a legally worded letter and asked my dad to sign it.
What is happening?
I did that a few times.
Oh,
when I thought something was unjust, I would write a fake legal letter to have my dad sign because he's a lawyer.
See, my parents aren't lawyers, but there were definitely times that I did not agree with something that happened, and I wrote letters to my teachers or the school because I was like, this is not okay. I do not feel okay with this.
I would find legal precedents to cite.
Oh, damn. Okay, so you took it a step further than me.
I was a dorky neurodivergent kid.
Well, and if your dad's a lawyer, I mean, that makes sense.
Yes.
Who talked a lot about it, just kind of, he's not a First Amendment lawyer or anything like that, but he talked a lot about that shit. So it was just kind of what was ingrained in me.
Yeah, for me, it was always about the moral implications of things. Y'all know how I feel about the law. It's just,
some laws are stupid. Yeah.
as Brennan Lee Mulligan would say, laws are threats. And with that, it's time to play a game.
Hello. You don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game.
Which laws are we breaking today? Be gay, do crime.
I want the Frog and Toad t-shirt that says that.
Sounds so good.
All right, Caitlin, what's our game today?
All right. So, in looking at these, there is a list from 2015 called 30 Great Psychopath Movies That Are Worth Your Time from Taste of Cinema. Benoit is number 19 on this list. So I want you to guess the order of the top 7 are in. So, we have Alex from A Clockwork Orange, Amon Gert from Schindler's List, which I was like, whoa, that was not what I was expecting.
No.
Annie Wilkes from Misery, Don Logan from Sexy Beast, Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs, Joker, the from The Dark Knight Returns. Not The Dark Knight Returns. The Dark Knight.
I knew you were going to read it that way. I knew you wrote it that way, so you could read it that way, and I'm so glad you did. I've been waiting.
And then Patrick Bateman from American Psycho.
I'm going to put Hannibal Lecter as number 1.
Have I given y'all my hot take on Hannibal?
What's your hot take?
That Anthony Hopkins is my least favorite adult Hannibal.
Ooh.
Wow.
For me, it goes Anthony Hopkins is number 3, Brian Cox is number 2, Mads Mikkelsen is number 1.
Oh, okay.
And Gaspard Ulliel,
we
he's
do
playing
not
young
count
Hannibal.
that.
It doesn't
We don't
count.
it. Do you know that Martha Stewart dumped Anthony Hopkins because of his performance as Hannibal Lecter?
I did not know they ever dated.
They sure did.
Interesting. I don't think he's bad. He's just so cartoonishly evil that I think Hannibal needs to be seductive and charming. That's what makes him an intelligent psychopath. And I don't buy into the way Hopkins plays him. But I know that's a very hot take. But I do agree with you. Most people are probably going to put him at number 1.
I'm putting him
with
at number
there.
1. And then maybe Annie Wilkes from... No, I'm going to go with Patrick Bateman, number 2. I think Annie Wilkes is number 4. I'm going to say...
I love that. Number 4. I love that.
I think Alex from Clockwork is number 3. And then I'm going to say number 5 is Eamon. And then I'm going to go with Joker, the, and then Don Logan.
I don't know if I have any... Okay. I mean, see, this is hard because it's not what order would I put them in.
Yeah,
it's
right,
guess
no.
what order they're in, which is maddening because that's not the order I would put them in.
No.
But yeah, I'm going to agree. Hannibal Lecter is number 1. I think Alex is number 2. I think Patrick Bateman is number 3. I think Annie is number 4. Agree with you on that, Amanda.
Thank you.
And then we'll go Joker, the at 5. Amon at 6. And Don Logan at 7. Also, I need to rewatch Sexy Beast. I saw that in the theater and I haven't watched it since.
It's been a long time.
It's crazy that Jonathan Glazer has only made 4 or 5 movies in 30 years.
Yeah, that is correct. That is wild. Well, here is the order in which these people at this specific website put them in. Annie Wilkes at number 7. Number 7.
That's boo.
Yeah, needs to be higher.
Don Logan at number 6. So y'all were pretty close with that one.
Very close. Okay.
This one's wild because for Schindler's List, it is number 5, Amanda.
Hey.
we have the Joker, the number 4. I feel like this has to do also with the proximity a bit. I can't actually remember when The Dark Knight came out, but
2008.
7 years removed.
Yeah.
Alex at number 3. So Amanda, you got that right as well.
Hey.
And here's the wild one. Hannibal Lecter's at number 2.
And Patrick
Bateman is number 1.
Wow.
Interesting.
Speaking of another movie that people with media literacy issues.
Oh my god.
Do they
I
not
should
know
put
that
that
movie
down.
was written and directed by gay women?
No.
It was directed by a
don't.
woman.
Yeah, I said that. Gay women.
Oh, I thought you said a gay man, and I was like,
Nope.
No. It was written by Guinevere Turner and directed by Mary Harron.
It's
Who are both lesbians.
Yes, they are. Guinevere Turner is so fucking hot.
And Mary Harron is an absolutely incredible director.
Yes, she is.
and I love this movie so much. Actually, when I was in Portugal for the film festival, I was just, at night when you're trying to go to sleep and you're like, what's in English that I could watch that I might be able or has English subtitles, because they're not necessarily giving you English subtitles in Portugal. So, and I'm flipping through the channels and American Psycho comes on. I was just like, well, I'm watching this now. I'm going to fall asleep watching American Psycho. Comfort watch for me. Let's go.
Yeah, it tracks.
Okay.
Well, speaking of comfort, let's categorize this thing, right? I mean, I think this is a Punisher. I really do. I think, like I said, there are moments of humor that lighten it up a little bit, but also make you go, oh!
The darkest of humors.
Yeah, and it's like the overall arc of the movie is one of just self-destruction, essentially. Self-destruction through the destruction of those around us. And that's extremely punishing.
Yes, I concur, May. It's and as we've gone through, the difficult questions, the media literacy that you do have to have, what this movie is raising and what it is skewering, and you're watching some pretty terrible acts, fictionalized, but you're watching pretty terrible acts happening, and makes for not the easiest watch at times, I would say.
Yeah, that's true. It's a Punisher. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I will watch it again. I laughed a lot, but
Yep.
Look, I'm just glad because I know y'all have not seen any of the movies we're covering this month.
Nope.
And I'm so glad that we started with this. That is an older example of a found footage / mockumentary film, whatever you want to call it. That's the kind of stuff we're doing this month. Found footage, mockumentary, screen life, etc. And I feel like calling it multimedia was the easiest way to do that.
Yeah.
And it's May, so it's Multimedia May. And it's also my month.
We started on a very strong movie.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see how that carries us through, because all of the movies we're covering this month are movies that I really, really enjoy, even if they're punishing.
Yeah, is it an entire month of Punishers? Is that what I saw on our...
There's no what we do in the shadows in this theme, everyone.
Now,
Let's just say.
Here's what I'll tell you. I think one of the movies is not a Punisher. I think it's really fucking scary and creepy, and you're definitely gonna get wigged out by some of it. But yeah, honestly, the rest of them are pretty punishing. So thanks for coming on this journey with me.
We have Punisher month followed by a kink month.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, yeah, we gotta reward ourselves, right?
Yep.
Well, do we have any final thoughts? Anyone want to say anything else?
How the fuck fuck had I not seen this movie?
It's so wild.
It's so French. I was so obsessed with watching weird French shit when I was in high school. You know what? Because they wouldn't have played this on the Sundance Channel.
No,
That's why.
I was going to say the rating kerfuffle with all of this was released in like
it
one
wouldn't
theater.
have been the easiest thing to find.
It's NC-17. They did end up cutting certain scenes.
Yep.
Basically,
Julian was like, what was it, 30 seconds long?
to make it so it could be released in certain areas.
I mean, it played in one theater in the US.
One theater.
Yeah, they did all those cuts so it could get a home video released. So even still, whatever I would have rented on home video would have been so watered down. And
Not necessarily, because I think the Criterion edition does not have...
No, but when did that one happen?
Probably the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So
whatever the original home video release would have been, and it just depends on where I would have gotten it and which release, it would have either been the real thing, which is the Criterion, or the really watered down one.
Well, I guess it's time to wrap ourselves up, ballast our bodies, and jump into that quarry to find out what awaits you next time.
Don't you see? He's got us now. Okay, this is exactly what he wants. We can't go to the police, not now. He's made sure of that. He's just out there and he's watching us and waiting. What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
That brings us to the end of our episode. Thanks so much for joining us on this journey, fellow travelers. If you like what you hear, please leave us a rating and review wherever you can, because it helps more people find the show and it makes us all tingly inside. We occasionally get some comments on Spotify, usually from friend of the show, Devon.
Thank you, Devon.
Yes, thank you, Devon. And thank you to anyone who interacts with our Instagram. But we haven't gotten any reviews on Apple Podcasts since last year.
Yeah, shout out to whoever goes by the handle Cunt Vonnegut.
Because that's my friend Ivy.
Okay, well, Cunt Vonnegut, love you. Love your handle.
Yes, Ivy is wonderful, and I mean, she knows I have a crush on her. So what can you do? Anyway, y'all, please, if you're listening to this, write us a review, or even just give us a star rating or something. It really does help the bullshit algorithms that exist, and it recommends us to more people on podcast apps. We're fun. We're cute. Interact with us.
We'll
Just
respond.
Don't be creepy. Yeah, we'll respond as long as you're not creepy.
But we'll respond.
Yeah. And if you want to check us out, you can find us on Instagram at Pleasers and Punishers and on Blue Sky at Pleasers Punishers. You can also email us at pleaserspunisherspodcast@gmail.com. We don't get any emails. Please email us. You can find me on Blue Sky and Letterboxd at Everson Poe. You could find my music on Ampwall, Bandcamp, and streaming services as Everson Poe, 2 separate words. And you can hear me podcasting on Tender Subject and Slayerfest 98. Caitlin?
I can be found at Caitlin of the North on Threads and Instagram, Cat of the North on Letterboxd.
And Amanda?
I can be found on Instagram and Blue Sky at Amanda Jane Stern, at Witchy Wanderer on Letterboxd, and you can hear me podcasting on Don't Be Crazy.
And next week's episode will be on Unfriended Dark Web, a sequel that has nothing to do with the previous installment and far surpasses it in terms of both quality and scare factor.
Like the Ouija movies.
Well, Ouija Origin of Evil does connect to the original Ouija.
But this is a significantly better movie.
Oh my god, it's so...
you know what the real... It's Prom Night 2. Hello, Mary Lou. No connection
which
to Prom
I will
Night 1.
be seeing in the theater soon.
Wonderful.
As a double feature with The Last Slumber Party.
Oh,
well, a wop bob, a loo bomb, a wop bam boom. So...
And the most amazing part is this will be my second time seeing Hello, Mary Lou in the theater.
Wonderful.
Because they showed it last year in October at the Music Box.
I would love to see it in theaters. It's so much fun.
It's such a blast with a crowd. Such a blast.
I can imagine. I've only seen it at home, and it is a blast.
But yes, so next week, Unfriended Dark Web. I cannot stress enough, you want to make sure that you are not feeling emotionally fragile when you watch this movie.
Oh,
It's real fucked up. Like, no sexual assault, thankfully, but there's some real fucked up stuff in it. And I'll talk more about it on the episode, but one of the scariest things about the movie is that everything that happens in it could legitimately happen in real life. And that's what makes it really scary. But until then, do some aftercare, clean your toys, set healthy boundaries, and...
Our thoughts and prayers go out to Marie Paul, who is carrying the babies of somehow both Franco and Patrick.
Thoughts and prayers.